What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of a movie that just came out on digital called Escape the Field. It's on early access. Let's check it out. So I'm not really heard of anything about Escape the Field. I just kind of went on a whim and watched this movie. It seemed like a pretty interesting premise, and I didn't even really watch the trailer, so I had no idea. But it becomes evidently clear that this is a movie that is very much in the same vein as something like Cube or The Escape Room, on a smaller budget and not as good. So what is Escape the Field? 6 strangers who wake up in a field, a cornfield, a sort of maze of different types of things that are happening. They each wake up with a specific item that can help them in their adventures, and so begins a puzzle that they must solve to try to escape. But there is something that is mysterious and is hunting them. Now, I have to say, this is a pretty high concept for a very low budget film. First of all, this is a movie that is the first feature film of Emerson Moore, who has never done any other films other than this, just a short film once before this. They helped write it, of course, with Sean Wathan and Joshua Dobkin, who helped kind of flesh out this script. We have a cast that's pretty recognizable, too. We got Shane West, Theo Rossi, and Jordan Claire Robbins, who've all been in films that you've probably seen around the way. Specifically, Theo Rossi and Jordan Claire Robbins, I actually noticed the most. But all the people seem very familiar in some regard. And it's a ragtag group of people who are stuck in this crazy world. This is very much on the budget side of these types of films. It is not a terrible watch. I mean, I was able to watch it all the way through. Didn't bore me. There was just some pretty evident flaws that kind of mess with the continuity of the film for me. Like, someone would be dragged out of water or out of this pile of something, and then they would be completely dry, or some of the CGI effects would just be so terrible on the screen. I know that they're doing what they could with what they got. I don't know if it was repurposed. I don't know how they figured out or made this field seem like it went on for a long ways, and maybe it was just a regular field to begin with, but I don't know. Some of it felt like it was on a set, some of it didn't. I'm sure they had to kind of add certain things in certain ways to kind of make it work. But there are some things in the movie that I liked, like some of the props and things that they use are some pretty neat ideas in the film, but it just didn't land the way that I thought it would. And it ends up feeling very tropey, like many other films that I've seen that kind of do this thing. I applaud the director and the producers and everybody for making an attempt to do something as big of an idea as this, because for the most part, it seems like a pretty mainstream movie. As you start watching, you start to see that the seams start to come apart. It wasn't sewn together as well, wasn't edited together as well, and it just kind of felt rushed. Like, some of the acting in the movie was decent. It's tolerable. You know, these are actors that have done stuff. They're not bad actors or anything like that. I just feel like some of the takes that they had weren't the best takes. Story-wise, it also feels written kind of in a rush, too, because instead of us getting to know the characters, which, you know, they do an okay job at, but it feels like these characters are kind of rushed into camaraderie instantly. There's this crazy thing going on, and yeah, some people are connecting because they're just nice people, but it just seems like in this situation where supposedly nobody trusts anybody, this whole group of people just keep yelling and arguing with each other the whole time, that it would seem a little off to have these certain characters that would just like gravitate towards each other and just 100% trust each other and just start talking about, you know, how's the weather? It just kind of felt like, you know, out of place, if that makes sense, writing-wise. Maybe a couple of drafts might have helped iron out some of that issues. I don't know. Didn't feel homogenous. Conceptually, not a bad idea. It definitely is different, although I don't know if it seemed necessary. Like, it's interesting that this isn't a cornfield and they're going through these different types of traps and things like that. And them, of course, trying to escape something that is hunting them, all while trying to build this sort of tension. There is some annoying characters in this that you just want to kill right off the bat, and they end up living for quite a long time, and some of them you just never hear from again, and you don't even know what happens to them. It's just really strange. It kind of just feels like there's just some holes. The finances for this movie to make it look as big as it did really just didn't come together as well as I would hope. Some of the CGI was really bad in this. Like even the opening shot of the movie where you're zooming down on the character in the middle of this field, like the resolution of the crops didn't match as it was going down. It just felt like it was CGI'd in. That minor gripe really, but these are happening throughout the whole film and it is noticeable and it kind of gives that overall feel of the film. There's some things that happen in the film too that you're just like, why would a character not tell somebody about that? Or why are they being this way towards that person? It was a little annoying at times for me. I still think it's a decent idea. Plus, you know, if you're looking for all the answers, this movie's probably not going to fulfill that. And the thing that's sort of hunting them down is a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, it's interesting in some regards. I just don't think they pulled it off in the way that they wanted to. Wouldn't mind seeing another film by Emerson Moore in the future. I mean, obviously he's aiming high, maybe with a bigger budget. This could go better. I don't know. Some of the flaws seem more with the production end of it, but some of the acting and some of the writing didn't really flow as well either. So if I was scoring this movie, I would probably give it like an average score to below, like 4.5, maybe 5. This is a straight to video kind of feeling movie to me. It is rough around the edges. You really kind of have to look at it from a perspective of, hey, they don't really have much money. And it's probably more impressive that way. This was on an early access, so you could actually watch it for like $6.99 on your digital platforms on like Amazon, which, you know, you might want to wait until it hits like a streaming service. Just my personal opinion. But if you have seen it and you enjoyed it, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you see it? Not like it? Did you like it? Have you seen the trailer? Have you even heard of this film? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. I got a haul video that's coming too, so be on the lookout for that and please support that. Thank you guys so much, and as always, long live the void.